Did you know that Victorian women had magazines that featured problem pages where they could write in and get advice on matters of the heart? The English Woman's Domestic Magazine was one such publication, and that ran from 1854 to 1879 and was edited by Mr. and Mrs. Beeton. It was hugely successful in its day, and it is very, very middle class. It's very British, but it was also very important because it offered a kind of community and a sense of solidarity amongst women, well, some women. It had literature extracts and poetry and advice on how to take care of the kids, and it had clothing patterns that folded out and you could make your own clothes, and it had problem pages. Their long-running Cupid's mailbag was a really popular feature. So I thought I would read you some of the letters that women were writing in circa 1855. And while the problems that a lot of these women are describing seem eerily familiar, the responses being given to them are just beyond frustrating. Like this one, Henrietta from Ealing, who writes in, "I've been married some years, and to the best of my knowledge, I have always acted the part of an affectionate and prudent wife. Only one thing mars my happiness. My husband, who is kind and considerate in other respects, always leaves home in the evening and will remain away until quite late. Would it be wise to question him as to the cause of this?" Henrietta, oh, Henrietta, yes. Yeah, that would be my response. Yeah, it absolutely would be. In fact, probably just throw all of his stuff out of the window and change the locks before he got home. That would be my advice. But that isn't what the Beatons are going to say. They say, "We think not. Let Henrietta make her home a happy one. Let her endeavour to engage her husband in some amusement or occupation for the evening in which she can share, without at the same time appearing to force his inclination, and if he be kind and considerate, as she says he is, he will no doubt yield to her wishes. On no account should she employ remonstrance or upbraiding." I'm sure that all ended fabulously well for Henrietta. Or Sarah from Camberwell, who writes in, "My sister is engaged to a young man to whom she devotes so much of her time and attention that she seems quite to forget the relationship existing between us. Indeed, I feel quite in the way when he is there, as they are always engaged tete-a-tete." And our very modern advice would be, call her out. Challenge her on that behaviour. Don't do that. Don't be centering men like that and neglecting all your friends and your family. That's a dumb move. But again, that's not what the Beatons are going to say. They are going to say, "When two young lovers are engrossed with the pleasure of each other's company, it is but natural to suppose that they should be unobservant of what is passing about them. The only remedy we can suggest to Sarah is that she should speedily get a beau of her own." and and we will answer for it that she will be so much engaged herself that her sister's abstraction will pass unnoticed. I'm laughing, but so many of these letters and the responses about are encouraging women to get married, making them stay married, or women writing in panicked that they'll never get married. And you can understand why, in a system that women are completely financially dependent upon men, that was a really, really big deal. Some of the problems women are writing in with are so bad that even the Beatons do say, no, that's not on. Like this one, Ada. "I have lately met with a gentleman for whom I entertain a great partiality, and who professes to the same feeling for me, but whenever I see him, he always insists on our meetings being kept a secret, and will on no account hear of my acquainting my friends with the circumstances or our attachment. How would you advise me to act?" Well, I feel that the Beatons do actually come through for her here. Ada does well to seek advice on this subject. We cannot approve of this gentleman's conduct. If his intentions are honourable, why should he object to come forward as the lover of an amiable and confiding girl, which Ada appears to be? Yes, absolutely. In our opinion, he cannot have any good motive for concealment. Damn straight. Let Ada without delay acquaint her friends with this attachment, and we are sure that she will feel the happier for this necessary confidence. See, that's where they've gone a bit wonky. I wouldn't have said, tell your friend you're dating him. I would have just said, dump his ass immediately. He quite clearly has a second family hidden away somewhere. And finally, we have Josephine, who writes in, "A year ago, my affections were won by a young midshipman, whom I made a vow I would marry on his return from a 2 years' cruise, upon which he was soon to be dispatched. Since then, however, I have become acquainted with a handsome young clergyman, who tells me that vows are very sinful, so that I'm half disposed to give the midshipman up. I wish to know, therefore, your thoughts on the subject." Oh no. Scumbag. And she finishes it by saying, "P.S. Please bear in mind that the clergyman is very handsome. Oh, Josephine. Josephine, no. But they do come through for her. They say the adage that the pith of a woman's letter is always found in the postscript, I've never heard that before, was never more strikingly exemplified than in this letter of Josephine. The clergyman may be handsome in his appearance, but we cannot apply the same term to his conduct. We do not approve of young men exacting vows where a length of absence is likely to weaken the feeling of attachment. But when vows are freely made, they should be religiously respected on both sides. What's kind of sad about this is that there's no follow-up, so I can't tell you what happened to Josephine and her very, very handsome clergyman, or Ada, who's been forced to keep the whole thing a secret, or if Sarah ever managed to get her sister back. But one thing that we can say while looking at them is that feminism could not have arrived soon enough.